Check out how bare this place is. This is a coastal sand flat, and in this episode I'm going to test myself to see if I could survive out here. It's going to be an overnight solo adventure. I've bought a yabby pump and a rod to catch my dinner tonight, but the main activity, the main gathering, will happen very early in the morning. I'll explain why later, but let's go find our camp spot. Check this out. Here's our first find. These are soldier crabs. They run around in a little army, and we're going to grab a couple. We're not going to eat these guys. We could, but they're going to be good bait. So I'll grab a few. Ooh, come back. Escape artist. Here we've got an old ice cream container. We'll use that to put some of our catch in. Bit of wet sand, and there they go. If you have a look around, there's nothing really to see here. It's just flat sand. And as my subscribers will know, I put myself in these situations just to see if I can find enough food to survive. This is pretty cool. We can't eat it because it's dead, but I thought I'd show you. It's a baler shell. These shells were used by indigenous people around the world as a bailing tool for canoes, dugouts, and at first glance everything here seems to be dead. There's a shell there, another shell, just pretty much dead shells. We've got a bit of water flowing out of the hills here. This will be salt water, and I reckon these are yabby holes. Let's pump a few. Yeah, it looks like a yabby hole. There we go, we've got one. Before he buries himself, we'll grab him. Okay, now we could eat that guy, but again, we'll just keep him for bait to start with, and maybe later on we'll eat him. There we go, two more. 1, 2. The only reason I brought the yabby pump is to get these guys. So that's pretty good. We've got some soldier crabs on the left there and some yabbies, and we'll see which one of those is a better bait. Check this out. It's a deserted beach. There's no footprints anywhere, and just it's actually pretty clean. These coastal margins, which is basically creeks, beaches, mud flats, are actually some of the most productive environments on earth. You just have to know what to look for and how to find it. And look at all these shells. This is what we're after, these sort of shells here. They're a type of clam, and if they're on the beach here, we should be able to find them. I think this is my camping spot here. Sort of a bit of grass. Still got the beach over here. It's actually a very tropical feeling spot. We've got these big trees, nice green leaves. We've got pandanus there, pandanus here, pandanus there. It's very tropical feeling. Yeah, cool little spot. Yeah, see if we can catch a fish for dinner. We'll use the yabbies and the soldier crabs. So normally I take a sleeping bag on these trips, but you notice I'm not wearing a shirt. It's 5:30 in the afternoon and it's quite warm. Tonight's going to be quite warm too. So all I'm going to use is this silk sleeping bag liner. It's just like a silk sheet, perfect for camping, weighs almost nothing, and hopefully that's enough to keep me warm. Just going to put a shirt on because the sandflies will probably kick in, and this will give me a little bit of protection against them. Later on we'll start a fire, but first let's see if we can catch some dinner. I saw a little creek over here, so we'll try and fish that. Here's the creek. That's all salt water, and yeah, we'll go down this way a little bit. We should be able to catch something here. Quite a nice little spot. I've just rigged up a ball sinker with a hook. Hopefully it's not too dark for you guys. I have got a torch, and what we'll do is we'll put on a crab first. Just get the soldier crab and just put it right through him like that. There we go. Probably a little bit dark, but that's the moon up there, right there. And I'll just show you the creek we're fishing. It's only been about 5 minutes and I'm getting bites. I might have lost my bait there, I think. Yep, there we go. See that? Bait's gone. Let's put another crab on. And straight away I'm getting more bites. Come on, fish. I can hear a lot of fish splashing actually in this water hole. Okay, I'm getting some more bites. Yep, oh, I think I got one. Oh, it's not very big. Let's get him in. It is, oh, little tiny brim. You are quite small, little buddy. Look at this guy. He is probably only 12 centimeters long. Well, yeah, I'll throw him back. Off you go, buddy. Back at camp. The main reason I stopped fishing at the creek was because the mosquitoes were just terrible. I have got a backup. I've got some marinated pork spare ribs, so I'll cook them now, and then we'll get up really early in the morning before dawn and see what we can find on the flats. So to cook my pork spare ribs, all I've done is thrown a rock on the fire and let it sit there about an hour. So that rock is extremely hot and should cook my dinner. Ooh, nice. Apart from burning my hands every time I go to turn them, that is working exceptionally well. Can you hear that bird over there? It's going doo doo doo. That's a nightjar. Got myself a nice dinner rock. I've cleaned it, and I think we'll just transfer that over here. Look at the colour on that pork. Oh, that is some good looking spare ribs. Gotta be happy with that. All I did was marinate the pork ribs in oyster sauce overnight. They've just been in my backpack all afternoon. They're delicious. This isn't the reason we came here, but there's no reason you can't enjoy a nice dinner. If you've never tried just putting a rock in the fire, I've done it a few times and it's worked every time. You just need that rock to get nice and hot. If it's a big enough rock, you could actually pull it out of the fire and not burn your hands like I did. But the flavour is just great. Check out the size of this bug in camp. I heard a noise and I was like wondering what's sneaking up on me. I have seen these bigger, but this is pretty cool. Check out the pincers on that guy. Hey, let you go, buddy. Look at him. That's why I sleep in a hammock and not on the ground. Hey, he wants to have a fight. Hey, you want to fight? Come on. Come on. He's just backed himself into a corner so he can defend himself. I've been hinting at this for a couple of episodes now, and this episode is when it happens. If you want to meet me, fish with me, travel with me, do the survey at the end of the video. There'll be a link in the description. If you've watched this far, you guys are my biggest fans, and it's for my biggest fans that I want to meet you, I want to travel with you, and yeah, have some adventures together. So do the survey, the link's in the description. Everybody fill out the survey. Tonight's fire story is actually about one of my travels. I've done 3 round the world trips, and on my first one, I was in Montana. I found this small lake. I'd driven down this dirt road that I didn't know what was at the end of it. I just thought I'd follow my nose. And I found this little lake. I was fly fishing for trout. Wasn't doing really well, but there was a beaver building a house right in the middle of the lake, and I thought that's pretty cool, so I just sat there and watched him. Anyway, these 2 young kids, I think they had a canoe, and they paddled right in front of me, and they said, "Oh, sorry, I hope we don't disturb you." I'm like, "No, it's fine." I chatted to them for a little while, and then they told me about these other lakes at the end of the road. So I'm like, oh, I've got to check them out. So the next day I walked from that lake all the way to the end of the road, which is about 10 kilometers, and then another 20 kilometers to get to the first lake. Turns out there was 3 lakes. I think there was 3 lakes. It's a place called Twin Lakes in Montana, but I think there was actually 3. Caught a bunch of fish, had a great time, walked back to the car and thought, I don't want to walk 30 kilometers again the next day. So I drove the car to the end of the road where the gate was, had a look at the map and thought, okay, well, I've been to that lake. That lake looks pretty cool. I'll go to that lake. So I went to the next lake. As I was walking just at the start of the track, I think it was 2 guys. They said, where are you from? I said, I'm from Australia. I said, how did you find this place? I said, oh, I just follow my nose, I explore. And they said, well, most of the locals don't even know about this place. So I get to some pretty cool spots. Got to this lake and it was nice. It was really beautiful. It was like 10,000 foot high, I think, peaks right behind the lake. And it just didn't fish really well. So I thought, you know what? I've got the map in my head. I'll just go cross country. So I climbed. I didn't follow the track. I had no idea where I was. Back then there was no GPSs, no Google Earth, no Google Maps. So anyway, I just went straight over the hill. Yep, and there's the other lake, and that was pretty cool. Anyway, I was fishing there, catching a few trout, and a couple of forestry workers started fishing beside me, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool, you know, they're doing their work, having a fish. I heard this really weird, like it was almost like a giant elf calling out, and I had no idea what it was. Anyway, I saw these guys drop their rods literally on the ground, $1,000 fly rods, and run into the bush. I'm like, what are these guys doing? So I went over and had a chat with them. It was elk. They pulled out a bow and started hunting these elk. Anyway, that was a really wild experience, something I'll never ever forget. And it comes from just following your nose and seeing where it takes you without a plan. Just follow your nose. Anyway, if you're interested, I'm not suggesting we do that sort of thing. I reckon we'll do some interesting trips together, but probably not hiking without a trail, without a map, in the middle of nowhere. Fill out the survey. Let me know. Like, there's a bunch of questions. Trover Trip is the ones organising this trip. I'm just going to go along and you get to meet me and fish with me. So if you're interested, fill the survey out and hopefully I'll see you out there one day. I'm going to go to bed. I need to get up really early before the sun comes up because I want to catch things with my head torch. It's been another nice day and hopefully we'll have some clam chowder in the morning. Okay guys, I can't see what the camera's doing. Okay guys, it's 3:30 in the morning, or just after. It's time to go hunting. You can hear the fruit bats in the trees. It's still quite dark. And yeah, we'll see what we can get. I've got a nice big prawn here. You can just see his eyes just sticking out of the water there. There's quite a bit of flow here actually. That's going to be a challenge. Got him. Okay, there we go. That's not a bad one. Look at the size of that. Well, got to hold their heads, otherwise they'll flick away. We're getting a few of these now. I won't show you all of them, but yeah, we'll have quite a few by the time we go to have breakfast. Okay, I've just found the biggest prawn of the night. No mucking around here. I'm just going to get him. Oh, he's a nice one. Look at that. That is a good prawn. Yeah, it's about the size, biggest size you're going to get out here. When they get bigger, they go into deeper water. Oh, and have a look at this. There's another sand crab. Oh, just buried himself. Right there. Whoops. And this is what I meant with the clams sitting upright like that. He actually saw me and buried himself in. Like he stuck his tongue into the ground or foot and started burying himself. Oh, there he goes. Look at that. There he goes. We'll take him as well. He's quite small, but yeah, we'll eat him as well. Check out this groover here. That's another big one. Just gonna wait for him to stop and bury himself. Come on, dude, bury yourself. There he goes. Here he goes. There you go. Look at that. Just buried himself. And his eyes are gone. Everything's gone. There, got him. Look at that. Oh, another big one. That is really cool. Here we've got a little blue swimmer crab. He's definitely undersized. You can see how small he is. He's only 8 centimeters, maybe not even 7 centimeters across the carapace. But yeah, these guys are here as well. Oh, he's gonna have a go at me. Yep, he's fighting. Hey, off you go, buddy. I'm also finding a lot of snails. There we go, that's a little snail. It could be an olive. That's what they call that style of snail. I'm not 100% sure. These are definitely edible. Finding quite a few. They're very small, quite fiddly, and I'm not going to take any of those. But yeah, not too bad tasting actually, so we'll let him be. But there are quite a few around here. Here we have what's called a moon snail. Actually, I think it's a moon snail. Yeah, it is definitely a moon snail. You can tell by the shape of the shell. Look at that. There. These guys are a big predator on these flats. They look for other snails. He's actually quite a big foot, hasn't he? Look at that. Yeah, these guys predate on other snails. And what they do is they drill a hole into the shell. And if you ever find a little shell with a hole in it, it's one of these guys that's eating them. I've eaten these. They're okay. They're just very tough and rubbery. So I'll let him be as well. Not a bad, morsel, but yeah, I'll let him be. Looks like we've got another clam. I think he's whole. Usually they don't. Whoop, there you go. He just squirted. Usually you find them sort of half buried. But that's cool. I'll take that. I'll show you how to get plenty more of these, when we get a bit more light. Here's another very small clam. You can see he's alive because he's got his... Oh, there he goes. He just walked. He just walked. He's going to be way too small to worry about. But you'll have a look over here. There's another one. So in certain places, they tend to pop out of the ground. Let's see if he will walk. Nope, he won't walk. Oh, squirted out. So there you go. These are baby clams. Too small for me to worry about. But yeah, we'll keep moving. Let them go. Okay, this guy is going to be very hard to see. He starts here and finishes there. I think that's how big he is. He could be bigger than that. But let's see if we can get him. This is called a sole. Okay, let's get him out. Oh, where'd he go? I've lost him. Oh, there he is. There he is. Got him. Yes. Okay, let's get him out of the water. I don't like being upside down. It's about the only way I can show you. There you go. That's like a flounder or a sole. And we'll take him as well. These guys don't get very big. Okay, here we have what I'm pretty sure is a baby flathead. He'll probably take off as soon as I touch him. Oh, here he is. Check this guy out. He's actually not too concerned. Oh, there he goes. Oh, and another prawn. Hello, prawn. Oh, you got to be quick. There's the puffer fish. Hey, if I'm not careful, he'll take a bite out of my finger. Oh, there he goes. Check this guy out here. That's a sand crab. Oh, get away from me. There he is. Got him. There's the blue swimmer sand crab, and then there's these yellow. They've got kind of like purpley spots on them. You find them in the little shallow pools, and you could probably eat that, but there's not a lot of meat on it. So, but yeah, just another little thing you could eat from here. Hang on, let's let him go and see what he does. Off you go, little buddy. There he goes, burying himself. There he is, right there. Okay, here we've got quite a big flounder or sole. Quite hard to see. There's his eyes. His back of his tail's there, I think. Let's see if I can get him up a little bit. There you go, you can see the whole thing moving. All they want to do is stay right on the floor. They don't actually really want to take off. There he is. Look at that. very hard to pick up because they're so fast. There we go, we get to see him better now. Look at that guy. I've already got one, so we won't take him, but it's just cool to show you what's out here. Look at that guy. There he is, and he's buried himself again. Hey, there he goes. All right, let's find some more clams. There's a little bit of cloud around, and you can see the sun's just about to rise. It's probably, I don't know, 4:45 or something. It's pretty cool. Very nice. Even out here on the sand flat, the bird song is quite loud. That's probably not quite a kilometre away, but that's pretty cool. It's like an amphitheatre with all the sounds coming out this way. I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but I've been using a head torch to spotlight all the critters I'm looking for. And now there's a bit more light, I'll show you another way to get the clams. It probably works wherever you get clams, pippies, yeah, bivalves basically. It involves these stingray holes. The thing I'm talking about is these pop marks. See these? Every one of these is where a stingray has been pumping or digging in the ground, and they know that there's some good stuff in there. So we'll pick a spot like this, plenty of little holes around, and I'm just going to get my fingers and use them as a bit of a rake. And I'm going down about that far and just seeing what I can find. Go around the edge of the stingray holes. Oh, there you go, look at that. There is a clam, and yep, he's definitely full and alive. There we go. That's the other way to find clams on a sand flat. Well, that was pretty successful. We got a fair bit. And it's pretty amazing. 20 minutes ago, it was so dark, I couldn't see without a head torch. And here we are back at camp. Can you see why I like a hammock as a mode of tiny home in the bush? 2 trees, middle of nowhere. Yeah, very cool. Here's a very nice one. Check this guy out. Look at the size of this thing. Oh, got him. Oh, now that is a nice clam. Oh, beautiful. So we found a nice little spot. Who wants clam chowder for breakfast? I know I do. Got the fire going, and I've put some water on the boil. There's our gathered ingredients for clam chowder. Look at that. Some of those prawns are still moving. Beautiful. So we got prawns, we got clams, and we got a little flounder in the back there. Let's start cooking. I've diced a potato. I've cubed up 2 spring onions, and I'm just dicing up some fine garlic. That will form the base of our chowder. That water's boiling. Oh, yep, perfect. Let's chuck the potatoes in. In my green container, I've got a bit of oil. Put some of that in there, put it on the fire, and we'll cook our onion and garlic. So with the sole, I'll just take off his scales, and instead of gutting him and doing everything else, I'm just going to cut straight across there. So that's his head and most of his stomach cavity. We'll get that, and we'll just get the last bit of stomach contents out of there. We'll just cut it into bite-sized chunks. Yes, this has got all the bones in it, but that's actually good for you. Bones are full of calcium. And I'm just putting a second pot on the boil. Those onions actually look like they're ready to come off the heat. I need the lid to boil the clams as well, so what we'll do is we'll put these, the onions and the garlic, into my little bain-marie. Because essentially I've got the potatoes boiling under here, and that's keeping that nice and warm. The oil's back up to temperature. I'm going to throw the sole in there. People say that you should always cook with sole, so I'm cooking with sole. And while that's going, we'll throw in the prawns as well. Now normally a clam chowder has bacon in it. I am substituting the prawns for bacon. You don't want to cook those too long. They'll be cooked in a couple of minutes. And at the same time, we'll cook the clams in this boiling water. There we go, beautiful. Okay, the prawns and the fish are cooked. Look at the colour on those. Woohoo! So I'm just gonna put them on top of the clams because the clams need steaming. I just want to steam them until they're open. Let's eat one of these prawns. Actually, there's three big ones. We'll eat 3 big prawns. They've been cooked in oil with garlic and onion, and oh, they look great. Oh wow, that is good. So I took the heads off, took most of the shell off. They will be a good substitute for bacon in this dish. They were flipping around like less than an hour ago. This is all ready, I think. The potatoes are done. Let's put our clam chowder together. Just check, yep, the clams are open. Get them off the heat straight away. If they don't open, they're no good. Even that little one's open, so yep, they're all good. Just drain the potatoes. So then I want to be very careful. The clams always have a lot of sand in them. I just want to get the liquid that came out of the clams. Get that back up to the boil and add some milk. I'm using long life milk. There's, what's this, 200 mils. Yeah, use most of that, not all of it. We've only got a small container. But I'm always getting ahead of myself. In my red container, I've got some corn flour, and we want to use, I'm going to go tablespoon. And we want to do this before it gets to the boil. If you chuck corn flour in while it's boiling, it will just go cloggy straight away. This way it should mix around and make it nice and thick later on. At this point, I'm also going to throw in a vegetable stock cube. That will add a ton of flavour. And if I do it now, it should incorporate quite nicely. I'm just going to combine all these ingredients in this pan. And we'll also pull out the meat from these little clams. There we go. Beautiful little clams. And that's the biggest one. That was the one that was right on the surface. And I'll show you something interesting about this clam. You see how he's got a white shell and then a yellow shell? There's actually a bit of a step up there. And what I think is happening, he's building new shell. So his shell has got too small for him, so he's just building more, and it'll get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you know, come out to here. That's pretty cool. We've got a little boil happening again, and we're just going to throw the rest of these ingredients right in the boiling pot. There we go. Oh, that is going to be good. Now to finish it off, we just get a little bit of cream and we're done. So Nerida actually found these long life creams, which is really cool. We'll put in about 100 mils, maybe a tiny bit less. There we go. And my breakfast clam chowder is ready. That actually looks so creamy and delicious. Wow, look at all the good stuff in there. Clam chowder. It's looking creamy, it's looking nice, it's got plenty of stuff in it. And I've been up, it's 7:40 now, so I've been up for almost 4 hours. I don't normally get up at 3 in the morning, but I wanted to get those prawns. The prawns are the ones that you need like a head torch for so you can see their eye shine. Flounders, you could probably get them during the day, but they're a lot more wary. So I started this video with a question: can I survive on a sand flat? And I like to challenge myself as well as go out and explore and see what food I can find. Oh, that's hot. Ooh, very tasty though. And that's what I will keep doing in these videos. I'll try different locations, different scenarios. And with the amount of food that I found, the yellow crabs, sand crab was undersized, lots of sole or flounder, more prawns than I could poke a stick at. Like I could have probably got a kilo of prawns, but I wanted to get the clams as well. So I think definitely I could survive on a sand flat. A torch is very handy, so yeah, I would prefer to do it at night, but yeah, early morning was when the tide was right. Also on this trip, I found a few plants that could be edible. I'll research them, make sure that they are edible, and then I'll show them to you. That's also part of my journey, is to find stuff in the bush that I can eat. And there's a couple of ducks. They're called Raja shell duck. They're black and white, and they're just cruising past my breakfast here. I've got to get a video of them. I'll tell you how this tastes in a second, but I've got to film these ducks. They're cool. They're so cool. They obviously don't like me filming them. All I'm going to get is their backsides. These guys are actually native. They live in mangrove swamps. That's where I've seen them. They're yeah, interesting little critter. Where's the other one? There's the other one. Oh well, enough of that. Back to my breakfast. Now, where was I before I got rudely interrupted by that fauna? Let's try this. We'll get a bit of potato, a bit of onion, nice amount of sauce. It actually tastes a little bit like it's got bacon in it. That is nice. Let's try one of these prawns. When prawns are small like that, I leave the heads on. I just chew them very carefully. If they were bigger or I was cooking in a restaurant, obviously I'd take the heads off, but there's no need to. Nice prawn flavour. I've pulled out a little clam and a piece of potato. Let's just try the clam on its own. Nice creamy flavour. The whole chowder is very creamy, but the clam on its own is even creamier. Potatoes are cooked to perfection. They like melt in your mouth, and it's a different type of creaminess. That's interesting. This chowder is just creaminess on creaminess on creaminess. It's wild. Oh, let's try another prawn here. Oh, there we go. Look at that. This is actually very delicious. Now, the other thing I could have done too is used any of the stuff I found for bait and used my fishing rod to catch even bigger fish. But for me, that wasn't the challenge. For me, it was the challenge of finding food in or on the sand. Hence, sand flat survival. And I'm going to keep doing that. Different environments. Hopefully I'll get out west a little bit. Some of the bigger rivers, coastal stuff, mangroves. I've done mangroves already, but I'll do them again. I'm learning all the time as I go along. And some of your comments actually help. Yeah, some people identify stuff or tell me, oh, I can eat that. And I'll look it up and it's like, oh, wow, you can. So expect, yeah, more interesting videos. Guys, if you want to hang out with me, if you like traveling, if you like adventure, if you like fishing, do the survey. Link in the description. I'll also do a notification. Everybody fill it out. There'll be different places, different costs. Hopefully I can cater for everybody. And I'll see you out there somewhere. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my breakfast. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please subscribe and click the notification bell so you get notified of my new videos. I do them every week. I'd also like to say a big thank you to my Patreon supporters and people who've donated through PayPal. If you want to see more right now, click the links above. Catch you next time.